Of the fight against terrorism is the change to the way we go about our daily lives. So next tonight we explore how police using anti-terrorism laws are stopping innocent photographers from taking pictures in London.
Yes, amateurs have joined forces with professional photographers to call on police to stop harassing them.
Well, many say they've been prevented from taking pictures of London's iconic buildings. And in the latest incident, one man was stopped and searched just because he photographed Christchurch in Newgate. Marcus Powell reports.
Grant Smith is an architectural photographer taking pictures of Christopher Wren's city churches. But after the intervention of a security guard here at the Bank of America yesterday, he was stopped and searched by 7 police officers under legislation designed to stop terrorists.
I had no obligation to tell these security officers what I was doing. I was in a public space. I carried on. I moved away to get a wider shot of the building. And several minutes later, 3 police cars and a riot van came screaming down the street, police sirens on, lights flashing from both the east and west direction. And I was then approached by 3 police officers who said they were following up an incident which involved a hostile male.
And all because he hadn't told security guards what he was doing, entirely within his rights. Yet Grant and our crew were watched again today by some of the same police officers, although this time there was no intervention. Their powers under the Terrorism Act allow them to stop and search anyone in designated areas thought to be at risk of terrorist attack, but they shouldn't stop people taking pictures. Yet we ourselves were questioned by police within seconds of producing a camera to film a routine stop at nearby St Paul's.
Have you got authority to film?
We don't actually need authority to film.
Right, okay, so what organisation are you from?
We work for ITN.
All right, that's fine, that's what I wanted to know. As long as it's journalistic.
This time it was all low-key, but the police have been deemed to be going over the top by their bosses after 94 complaints in just the past 18 months.
The basic principle is that a photographer can take a photograph in the street. Sometimes these matters are dealt with more by diplomacy rather than a clear and examination of what the detail of the law is. But I think what needs to be done here is needs to be clear guidance from the top so there's not an overzealous and an inappropriate implementation of these rules.
The Terrorism Act has been controversial, a balancing act between counter-terrorism and human rights. Under Section 44, the police have the powers to stop and search any person and seize any articles which could be used in connection with terrorism. But Liberty say those powers should be used only when there's evidence of a specific terrorist threat. In response to all the complaints that have been made, the head of the Association of Chief Police Officers has admitted that officers continue to misuse the legislation that is available to them. In a strongly worded memo to all of the forces in the country, he said it is unacceptable for officers to use Section 44 of the Terrorism Act to unnecessarily restrict the actions of both amateur and professional photographers. But it seems that that message has yet to get through to officers on the ground. Marcus Powell, London Tonight, Scotland Yard.